We need more of these.
Big off there.
We had a little incident with the upright, just a general wear and tear thing. We've done a bit of testing and stuff, so that was just one of them things. So our session got cut about 8 minutes short. You know, the team was straight on it, they nipped it back up, they made sure it was safe, we went back out, did a double check, checked it again, and it just, you know, it wasn't fit to carry on, so we had to call it a day, but we lived to fight another day. You know, the rain just started to come down a little bit as well, so no one was improving, and yeah, they did a great job. I'm so chuffed with them. You know, we didn't deserve that, but at the same time, you know, it's we win and lose together, so you know, I can't thank them enough for the job that they've done so far. Rome wasn't built in a day, and now there's the championship won in a day, so it's not go slow, take it steady, pick up some points, and roll on to the next one.
I'm looking forward to getting going, actually. I think having only done a little bit around here, I needed that time in the data office to make sure I'll go a bit faster. But now in the race, anything can happen, and it'll become a bit closer anyway. So just get stuck in, have a bit of fun.
We had an engine let go in race 1, so that meant because of the gap between race 1 and 2, we couldn't get the car turned around in time, and it was just impossible for, you know, anyone to change an engine in that space of time, no matter how many people you had. So that was a bit of a blow. Then a puncture in round 3, so it was just one of them things, one of them weekends. You know, the pace was good in qualifying, so I don't see why we can't roll that over to Brands Hatch and have a good meeting.
2/3. We lost a little bit sector 2 the last few laps.
Yeah, we're just losing that front end.
Yeah. You didn't have any big degradation in that left front like it was given
I had a
up,
little lock up the same corner the time before.
Yeah.
And the second time I went and hit the same brake pressure.
Yeah.
And everything just went, and it went.
But it's not like that we were losing the tyre and it was just like it's gone suddenly.
We lost a bit in normal degradation.
Yeah,
The usual tail off. We were still doing 110.9s, whatever.
No,
I was comfortable at that pace. Could have done that all day.
It's not like when you worn it out to the canvas and it suddenly goes away.
Yeah.
You weren't losing that much grip. It just suddenly gone.
Good job, Bish, mate. I sat in a terrible position.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I was quite happy just sat there after that. I was happy just to plod there for the rest of the race.
So
and all of a sudden,
you got caught on Chilton and it just went up.
They broke away from me again, and then all of a sudden, temperature just exploded.
It went up quite quickly, like 1 second.
The pace would have been okay. Everything that could have gone wrong just went wrong.
This weekend couldn't have gone much better for the new Ford Focus ST. We've bagged 2 podium finishes, which is incredible for the first race meeting for the car. And yeah, we go into the second weekend 4th overall. So no, the competition is so tight. Just the BMWs, the Hondas, and I think we're just going to have to stay focused and try and think of the bigger picture as we're going into these next weekends and keep bagging the points.
Well, basically the motor blew up, so I had a really good start. I think the first 100 metres of my touring car career was spent on the grass, overtaking my teammate, and I got stuck in. I was really enjoying the race, felt good. I think I was in 12th when we had a safety car, but then soon after the safety car, the car just slowed, and then very quickly it went down from 4 cylinders to 3 and then down to 2, and I knew I just had to pull in. It ruined the race day really, because it meant, well, I missed race 2 entirely because they couldn't change it in time, quite a short gap. And race 3 I had to start right from the very back because I didn't compete in race 2. It's not necessarily all about being the man right at the front. You can score good points and then have your good race in the 3rd race. So that was the aim. I was quite happy with 12th, but I was eyeing up Bobby in front of me and maybe cars in front because we were right behind them. Just a shame what happened.
just a case of putting last weekend behind us, taking all the positives. You know, a lot of the stuff last weekend was out of our control anyway, so a week to repair has been quite a short turnaround. You know, realistically, we say a week, but really we've had Monday to Wednesday. You know, effectively the team comes down on a Thursday lunchtime and starts packing up the garage here. So 3.5 days to get a British touring car turnaround's not a very long period of time. I think we've done a good job. Obviously the boys and girls are on a high because of the podium last weekend, so I think it's just time for me to go one better this weekend, hopefully.
This weekend we now come into the event with 48 kilograms of success ballast, so straight away you're kind of on the back foot behind the curve, and we're just going to have to fight against that. And the other hard factor that everybody's got to face is the temperature. Us Brits aren't used to, you know, 35-degree heat. We're going to have to try and stay hydrated, stay cool, and push through it. I can't remember the last time we've had 2 events on the bounce like this, you know, one weekend after another. So these cars take a lot of preparation and a lot of time. They have to, you know, completely rebuild the car after each event, and the boys just got straight into it on the Monday morning, and by the Wednesday the car was basically kind of ready to go. They just worked through the evenings, and from my point of view, you know, I've got much less to do, but just getting home, trying to get back into normal life with my family and keep up my training, and then before you know it, you're making your journey back down the road. It's definitely it's harder. This weekend we've got to just keep our focus up. I think we've got to just take each session as they come. I'd love to sit here and say we're going to put on pole and bag podiums, and yeah, that would be great. We are carrying ballast, and we've got to be realistic. First pole position with the new car at the team's home circuit, it means so much, and I think it just shows what a great job the team have done in designing and building this new Ford Focus ST. You know, I'm so happy for that side of the garage, and yeah, tomorrow we can be teammates and hopefully give the rest of the guys hell.
I need to score points, and I'm focusing on race 3. But to get in a good position for race 3, you have to have had a reasonable race 1 and race 2, of course. So I'd just like to finish the races. That's a start. Start the second race. That'll be a win over last week, but you can't get it let you down. You've got to just deal with it. It's a shame what happened, but hopefully the fix that Swindon have come up with will work, and we don't have to worry about it again.
We're about to go racing with the British Touring Car Championship for the first time. The Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship is go! And off the line well for the pole sitter, Rory Butcher. Looks like a good start for his teammate, Ollie Jackson, who's trying to get at the inside, and Dan Cabbage closes the door. There's contact. And a lockup for Rory Butcher. He's got a problem. He's dropped right down the order. He had a massive lockup. He's not got another puncture, has he? Like yesterday in pre-practice. He's struggling big time.
Well done.
Oh, there you are, mate. Front right, was it? You were faultless. You saved the tyres. When Cameron pressed you, then we saw you go a little bit faster.
Yep.
I don't know what to say, bud.
Yeah, I know, it's frustrating. But I just need to. Oh, it's just the rest of the day is going to be an absolute
all like, we just need to keep pushing on, don't we? No ballast.
Yeah.
Get a race free turnaround.
We got to sort out this puncture business as well, because this is, that's not, you wouldn't expect that to happen just because you had a bloody safety car.
No.
I genuinely believe we would have made it to the end of the race if it hadn't been for that.
I know. Surprised they brought the safety car out because we only had 2 laps left. Like, it's probably
Matt Neal again.
It's like the right time to red flag it. But anyway.
Starting from pole position in race 1, I managed to hold the lead for a total of 13 laps before the safety car came out. And once the race restarted, I picked up a puncture on the first lap and went from feeling like I could take this home and bring the win home for the team to obviously dropping down to last place and coming to the realisation that I'm only starting race 2 from dead last and finishing this race with no points. And the same happened in race 3 when I was fighting for third overall. So it's a bit demoralising, especially when you start off the first row or pole position in the first race. You're supposed to go on and take the win, but it wasn't to be. So we've had to do some kind of thinking and investigating into what went wrong with the tyres, and we're now putting the car to test with a completely different kind of geometry to make sure it lasts the race.
Lap 1 we just had that incident, and it was like coming out of Druids, just got turned sideways and then straightened up. By the time I'd straightened up, someone else clipped me and we dropped about P10 and then a couple of cars DNF, so we ended up P9. So can't be overly displeased, but yeah, if but maybe, we didn't. If the first lap would have gone alright, we could have rode with the top 5-6 like we have done all day. So just trying to keep the core temperature down and then just jump in the paddling pool after and that, and smash all the kit in the fridge. It cools us down before the race. But it's the main issue is when the checker flag goes out and then all of a sudden the adrenaline wears off and then all of a sudden the heat hits you and you just start to get your energy the fatigue just once that checker flag comes out and the adrenaline goes, that's it. It's game over. Oh well.
The Jackson's Trophy for James Cooley. Well done. Congratulations. And poses for the cameras and the video as well.
That's quite nice. Yeah, it's nice to be up there. I see it on TV all the time. Yeah, I want more Jackson's trophies for starters, but we need to try and push some independence and who knows, maybe we get on the top 3 steps. That's what I want to do. Why can't we win a reverse grid race? Winning race 1 or race 2 is a little trickier because there's some stiff competition, but I'm gunning for that podium.
I'm Justina Williams, the team owner of Accelerate Motorsport. So I started racing in the Cooper class in 2010 and pleased to say I got about 14 podiums over that year. So at that time we took the plunge and decided to purchase a mini challenge. So previously me and my husband had been running the team together, but when that happened we decided that he would be the promoter for the mini challenge and then I would run the team's Accelerate Motorsport, and I have done so since. Yeah, so as managing director, I'm responsible for the whole of the business, but my main focus really is financial control, so making sure the books balance and that when we do spend, we spend wisely, and of course looking after our commercial partners like Draper Tools, Evolution, Third Millennium and Credo, and ensuring that I fully understand their needs. So I'm also very proud to say I'm a STEM ambassador for the British Army, and also more recently an ambassador for the FIA Girls on Track UK. So, busy lady.
My name is David Bartram. I'm Team Principal of Motorbase Performance. I'm team boss ultimately, but I'm also chief bottle washer and whatever else. So as far as Motorbase works, part of our versatility is the fact that we work not just in our roles we normally work. If you know, it's a circuit you're perceived as a team boss, but at the workshop I run the workshop. I'm in charge of the staff, I'm in charge of what we do. But you know, the decisions can be ranging from what colour toilet rolls we're going to have to who we're going to have in the car. So there are other bigger decisions, and I think inner me is basically a racer. I'm a club racer. I'm a racer at heart. So therefore, I want to go racing. And sometimes business decisions get overruled by my inner racer. If I've done my job right, when I get to the circuit, I haven't got a lot to do because I've got a good crew of people that know what they're doing.
Dan Kirby, team owner of Trade Price Cars Racing. See, there's a number of things that go on to run a BTCC team. It's quite a, you know, it's not all glamorous, to be honest with you. You know, getting here on a race weekend, it's great to see it all happen and when the cars actually roll out on track. And obviously we're all here to try and win and, you know, and pick up some silverware, but there's a hell of a lot of stuff that goes on in the background, and yeah, that's the stuff that I'll pick up. Back to that old, you know, sell cars during the week and race at the weekends, which is sort of what the BTCC was sort of known for, you know, over the years. But I'll be honest, I, you know, put a lot of trust into our engineers and, you know, and the team, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. You know, I'm here, you know, for the final decision. We want to just pick up as you know, as many podiums as we can along the way, whether that be Jack Sears. We'd love to have a couple of outright podiums for both drivers, both Bobby Thompson and James Gornall. I believe we've got a fantastic pairing this year. It's going to be tough again. You know, there's some great teams, great drivers out there.
This weekend's going to be nice. It was hot last weekend. We had temperatures of 50 degrees plus in the car, and it wasn't very pleasurable at all. A nice little paddling puds jumping after, and you know, just try and speed up the recovery process really, just trying to get yourself turned around, get your core temperature down really quickly, and feedback all comes a little bit easier, and you're a bit less flustered, shall we say.
Oulton Park is one of the best circuits in the UK. You know, I've grown up racing around Knockhill, and the way I would describe Oulton is it's a Knockhill on steroids. It's got so much character, it's undulating, it's fast, there's blind corners, and yeah, I just can't wait to go round.
I feel very good. I like Oulton Park. It's one of my favourite tracks. It's more interesting than most. If you get it wrong, you know about it as well. I don't intend to get it wrong, but it's just exciting, and it's a lovely place. Lovely for spectators too, because it is so pretty, but unfortunately we still don't have anyone here.
Lights out, he's blast off, good start by Turkington. Lots of wheel spin for Josh Cook, he's going to get mugged by Matt Neal, out by Dan Cavendish. Tom Oliphant's on his toes on the outside line, into the inside, and Tom Oliphant, that's the third place, he's going to go through, gets the line on the inside, runs Oliphant out wide, the BMW there gets the drive out of the corner. Josh Cook can't quite stay alongside, Reddington driving by, Butcher on the inside goes Josh Cook, he's done it, he's got the lead, unless he runs out wide, Butcher comes back and in they run, coming out of a corner. It is a first victory of the season for Josh Cook, who comes across the line to win after a great drive.
Across the finish line in second place in race one. However, the winner, Josh Cook, he had a ride height infringement, so his car didn't meet the correct ride height, and he was disqualified. So we inherited the win, and then we finished second on the road to gain more points in race two, and then it was a P8 in race three, which was the only dry race of the day. So yeah, we walk away with a lot of points on the board. I think we're now up to P3 in the championship. You know, I kind of feel A little bit of guilt on Josh, he deserved that win. However, rules are rules, and we're happy to take the points, especially after Brands Hatch losing 2 races. I love my home circuit at Knockhill, and yeah, just can't wait to try this new car out around the track. I just feel it's going to take to it well, and yeah, let's see what it can do.
Oh, the red flag in that race was a bit bittersweet. You know, I was kind of happy to finish 6th and thought, well, that'll do. You know, Jake Hill was behind me. He wouldn't have caught me by the end, and had my hands untied, and off I went. And we had a good result. You know, the car was absolutely mega. I think we had about 3rd or 4th fastest lap, and yeah, move forward. Just that's the main thing. We just need to roll on to Knockhill, which is probably my favourite track on the calendar. So we go there next in high spirits.
In race 1, actually, I couldn't see anything, and Matt Neal made a lunge on me and hit the back, and it broke my rear suspension instantly, so that put me out of that race, unfortunately. He did sort of apologise for it afterwards. He said there was no malice involved. And race 3, as I was then trying to make progress back, someone else shoved me wide at Cascades and put me off, and that was a disaster as well. So it's a shame. I like Alton Park, and I would have liked to have done much better there, but you just get put on the back foot. People up and down the grid are having problems at some point, and this is our time.
Hi, I'm Chris Smiley and I drive for Accelerate Motorsport. This season so far has gone really well. You know, for me it's a brand new team, it's a brand new manufacturer into the BTCC, and you know, to come away at our first weekend at Donington Park with a 2nd place and obviously to lead the race as well is a massive achievement for me and the team. It really sort of gave us the confidence going forward that yes, we can do this. Me and Senna are normally a few tenths, you know, either way from each other, so whenever he's 2 tenths faster than me or I'm 2 tenths faster than him, it's usually in a part of the circuit where we can look at it and say, well, A, I'm not braking late enough, B, I'm braking too late, I'm carrying a little bit too much speed, or, you know, it's good to have someone who's pretty much on the same page as me.
Hi, I'm Bobby Thompson from GKR Trade Price Cars Racing. You can probably hear by my accent I sound nothing like Jiggy whatsoever. So I'm like the window cleaner and he's the butler. Really great guy, really good teammate as well. You know, we bounce off each other. Although he hasn't done touring cars before, he's got years of experience on me, and where I can maybe help him a few little ways where I've done touring cars, this being my 3rd year, so yeah. You know, unfortunate race 3, but we still come home with the Jack Sears trophy and some champagne. Mega, yeah, it's good to have a teammate, you know, you can share data with and actually compare stuff with. He's a quick guy and he's a good guy to have next to me in the garage, and I can trust him with everything. He's a good lad. Jake had a good one here last year. We'd love to build on that and have another weekend like that. That would be absolutely mega. I think we've got a good block to start on, setup wise, and if rain or dry, I don't mind. So I'm hoping for points.
My name's Ollie Jackson, I drive for Motorbase Performance. Got off to a really good start, really promising first couple of rounds. Had a little bit of a lull in the meantime, unfortunately, but for me it's always about building, about progress. Yeah, we're completely open. With Motorbase there's no barriers between the drivers. So, you know, we completely see each other's data. We know what each other's setups are, we know what the changes are going to each session. We have debriefs and talk about what each change does in each session. So, you know, it's completely open at Motorbase. Rory's obviously, he's quick. He's a good guy as well. I mean, I've worked with Rory in the past at AMD, although there was a little bit of demarcation between the two teams, so it wasn't a proper teammate relationship, if you see what I mean. We get on really well. He's really constructive. We help each other a lot.
Flag at the back, we look towards the 5-second board. The red lights are already on. Very quick turnaround here, off go the lights, and it's another killer start for Rory Butcher. That was a power move by Tom Oliphant there, and Tom Oliphant takes Smiley at the top of Duffus. That was a good move from the hairpin towards the checkered flag here at Knockhill Racing Circuit. Rory Butcher wins race number 3 at Knockhill. Senna Proctor will take second place.
Hey!
Knockhill was really tough. We didn't really seem to have the pace, and that puts you further back than where you want to be. We were just fighting it all the time really, and then I had a little mishap in race 1 which really messed me up, put me out of that race, as well as Andy Neat as well. So a little embarrassing actually, running to the back of someone behind a safety car, but then I do feel like circumstances went against me. When I came over a blind crest, they'd stopped. There's a wall of cars in front of me. I had nowhere to go. It was too late by then. And race 2, the boys did a really good job to get the car back out, but we still had some problems. I think when we got to the grid, I had the power steering fail because the alternator belt fell off during the safety car, and so then for the last, 2/3, 3/4 of the race, I was riding around with no power steering, which was quite hard work. I wasn't going to go any faster, and I was just waiting to see if anyone else fell off. So yeah, I need to just chill out for a little bit.
Really pleased with race 1. We'd struggled all of Saturday to try and find a rhythm and some pace around my home track, which felt weird. We managed to qualify 6th and then make our way up to P5 in race 1, and I was quite pleased to get past Camish, who's definitely a contender in the championship. But in race 2, I had a bit of a plan in my head what I wanted to do. I felt like I could go forward. I got a really good start, and I got frustrated just over driving, and ended up dropping down the order to P10. Had to regroup after that and sit down with the team. Taking the first win on the road in the new car, it was an unbelievable feeling, and doing it on the home track, it was so special. And it was actually a really pleasant race. Usually in this championship you don't really get much time to breathe, but finally found a good rhythm around the circuit, which I didn't have in the first 2 races.
The first 2 races I got really bad starts, and then I pushed on as hard as I could after that. We were struggling a little bit with the car, just lack of rotation really. For me, it's just all about collecting points. Like the first 2 races, just plodded away. Then that 3rd race, we really went for it. Yeah, finishing 2nd in that last race, I was very happy with. For me, it was, I've had podiums before, I've had a win and whatnot. For me, I was just so chuffed for all the boys and girls at Accelerate Motorsport. They've put in a monumental effort building a brand new car. They're a relatively young team in the BTCC, and I think me and Chris are doing a good job to develop the car. We're kind of doing live test sessions at the weekend, so ideally we'd have liked a bit more testing time, but yeah, like you say, the feeling for me going over the line was immense, because it just repays all the boys and girls at Accelerate Motorsport. I wouldn't say I've struggled with August, but I'm certainly feeling it now. This is a good way to the end of the month of August. Maybe I'd like to one more podium out of this month, but yeah, we're going to one of my favourite tracks in the country next, Thruxton, so I think we should be all right. I think the car will go well around there, and I think we'll be challenging for the top spots again.
spread out.
Yeah.
These are the best tyres as well.
Just make it count then. So he's doing a much better job in the two bits that we said, and his shifting was later, so...
It's just getting caught in traffic.
Yeah, it was just all traffic, so...
So I'm Daniel Bishop, Accelerate Motorsport. So I have a bit of a split role. I manage the team from a workshop perspective, and then on race weekends Marvin is the main team manager, and I sort of spend a lot of time working with him and also Sandra, using their experience of the BTCC. And then on the weekends I'm data engineer on Senna Proctor's car. To be honest with you, you're juggling budget, you're juggling decisions on performance, you're juggling decisions that affect everyone in the team as well as the car. So you make lots of them. As an engineer, you'd make them with tyre decisions and items like that, but as a manager, everything's difficult because everything is on your word. Yeah, that's the thing with motorsport. The lows are low and the highs are high, so it's a real mix of emotions. It's knowing and that feeling of wins and the points. You know, our first points last year was a great feeling, and that kept us going all year. And you have other items where, you know, we get our first podiums this year, and you live for those moments. Last year we knew we were coming in with older cars and new drivers, so it was always going to be difficult, but we showed as a team operationally what we can do. You know, the drivers did a good job. They both got points last year, but this year with a new car, with proven drivers, obviously the next thing's the win.
I'm Andy Wilmot, team manager for Trade Price Cars Racing. Well, 2018 I was in discussion with Dan Kirby, team owner. I was working with Dan anyway, and he said, should we do something together? I said, yep, what are we going to do? And we agreed that we'd do touring cars. So I became team principal. I set most of Trade Price Cars Racing up with Dan, but that was my role. He was owner, I was principal, and I took the team manager role. So it was a lot of reading. Yeah, I quite enjoy the team manager role. It's actually more hands-on than being team principal. So, I mean, the cars are great. We've updated them since the last round, hoping that they're going to be better. Everyone seems to have taken a massive jump up this year from last year. A lot of development's gone on. I'd like to see the Audis move forward up the grid now. We've done a bit more development work on them to continue scoring points and hopefully get a podium this season. We had a few podiums last year, and obviously we'd like them again. We'd definitely like them again this year. Just keep everyone happy, keep the morale high. Obviously, as soon as the morale drops, that's when things can go wrong, so we don't want to be there.
That's checkered flag, so they'll be clearing any minute. 5 minutes till pit lane opens. 5. Just bear in mind it's a tight pit lane here, and you're going to have a few more neighbours when the cars come back, so just keep an eye out for each other, please. I'm Ollie Collins, and I'm team manager for Motorbase Performance. So on a race weekend, I'm in charge of pretty much everything from the engineering to the drivers, the mechanics, the truckies, making sure that everyone's in the right place at the right time. And then on race day, I look after the judicial side of things, the technical legality, anything like that, any issues that are thrown up. The hardest decision is nearly always driver related. Race drivers are very driven individuals that they're so demanding for everything, which is what makes them successful. Our car crew will concentrate on one car. I have to look after 3. Then I have to look after the well-being of all 3, and I have to make sure the 3 cars are very equal, regardless of their position on track. It's a new car. It's been fantastic right from the off, but we're still learning it, and we've had a few moments this year where we've kind of gone, okay, that was a bit of a surprise, but mostly the car has been outstanding, and that's due to the hard work that went on behind the scenes in the winter. we all love winning, but it's really hard. This championship is bloody hard to win in. And everyone in this pit lane have seen the difficult times where you struggle to get cars that are competitive, or drivers, or as a whole group, or you get unlucky or bad damage or anything like that. We've all been through the highs and lows. You know how good the highs are, so you can get through the lows. That's just part of it. That's why we do it.
Good getaway by Ingram, good start by Turkington and by Sutton. And there is Turkington a long way back. Now, has he got a problem? He's dropping down that magic 15 for points. Look, he's just got no pace anymore.
He's got no straight line speed. Sutton's through. Sutton's past Butcher.
This makes it look easy, doesn't it?
Looks like Boardley's been off.
Or has a problem, or both. He gets a tag from behind. Whoops, Andy Needs into the back of him. What's that about?
That was very clumsy.
Really bad luck for Adam Morgan, and there he is into the pit lane. That is Bobby Thompson out of the race. Look at Camish, he's closing. Who's got the best drive out of the chicane? The Toyota will cover off the inside line. Ingram leads, Camish chases. It's 2 out of 2 for Tom Ingram.
He picks up the winner's trophy and holds it high in the air.
Well, we made some big changes which actually did start to bring it alive, so we struggled a lot. We always struggle with understeer, but the changes we've made allow the car to move around a little bit more, which in the high-speed corners was actually okay. What do we get? 2/3 of the way through the race, and then the gearbox just exploded. I think it was the diff exploded first, and that took the gearbox with it. So it was a DNF. It was just a failure. Nothing really more complicated than that. With having a DNF in race 2 and now not enough time to change the gearbox for race 3, it just means I'm going to be sat on the sidelines drinking a Coke Zero instead of driving around fast. Just like to drive around for once. We'll see. At the minute I'm hacked off, obviously, because the cars are about to go out for race 3 and I'm talking to you.
We struggled with a few little bits and bobs and tried to make them better, and every time we did, so did everyone else, kind of. So we were on the back foot from where I'd go, and it was it just made for a trying weekend. Don't get me wrong, we still got 3-point scoring finishes, and we're still in the top 10 in the championship. So I wouldn't change anything about this weekend. I think you've kind of got to go with it, and you've got to back yourself. I think we certainly tried everything that we wanted to try with the car. We certainly aggravated it a little bit and poked it with a stick, and I think we've got a better understanding of the car and the high-speed stuff again now, and I think we go to Silverstone strong.
Race 3 was a very hard race, maybe the toughest of the whole year. You know, you've got a really tough racer in Ash Sutton, and he doesn't give an inch. He actually passed me in race 1 at the first complex, and I knew what he had up his sleeve, so I just made the car as wide as possible in that zone, and I made a decision early on that he wasn't getting past, and we held on. I think this weekend, to sum up, has been a very solid weekend. You know, we definitely went out in FP1 and realised quite quickly that we weren't really on top of the hard tyre, and also this track. It's the first time we've been here with the Ford Focus ST. To come away with P6, a P5 and also a trophy, a podium, it's maybe better than a victory in some ways, because it's so high speed, it's so on the edge, and you need to have that confidence in your car, and yeah, we're just chasing that all weekend. I think the mental preparation probably starts days before the event. You know, you're thinking about it before you go to bed. You're thinking about the weekend as you're out on your morning jog, and then as I'm driving down from Scotland, it's all I do is just think about how I'm going to attack the weekend, and yeah, it never really stops. Throughout the weekend, there's a lot of meetings. You know, you always have a meeting before each session, and then after as well.
Straight out of the box, I think I feel the car actually felt in a good window. I felt compared to last night, the initial turn was stronger, and actually traction was better.
After the weekend, there'll be some paperwork because we've got to fill out a report about the performance of the car and where we feel that it was strong, weak, and how we move forward.
Friday before a race weekend for me is going through everything with my data engineer, my race engineer, just making sure everything's sorted for the weekend, tyre strategy, towing strategy, you know, all the bits and bobs that lead up to a Saturday really. And for me, it's I eat, sleep and breathe racing. So for me, I'm constantly thinking about touring cars. I'm constantly thinking about how I can go quicker. I'm constantly thinking about how I can go quicker, how I can get the car quicker, how I can extract the most out of people.
Well, to work well together, you need to have a very good relationship. So it is a family. We get on very well. At Thruxton, for example, once I'd had some food, I went back to the motorhome and grabbed all my guys a drink, just, you know, keep going, because they're working really hard to make everything go as fast as possible. So it is a family. You all have to get on. If you don't, it's not going to work. You won't go fast. Silverstone, it's a wonderful place. I'm a BRDC member, so I feel close to this. It is quite different though, being the F1 track that it is with all the runoff. It has a very different look, and you notice it as you're trying to push through turn one. You know the consequences of pushing too hard are far slimmer than they might be, for example, at turn one at Alton Park, where you're going to put it in the wall. If you hit the wall here, you're unlucky. Doesn't mean you can't do it, you'll just be unlucky.
So at the moment, we're just putting some pre-setup on for FP1 and FP2, just to make life a lot more quicker and easier when we do it in session. Yeah, I'm clear. We'll get there. So what we've done is we've done an adjustment on the front. We've now got to set it to what the engineer has asked us to, and basically make sure the car is ready for his requirement. If he wants to do any quicker in-session practices, then we can. You get ride heights, please. I do cambers.
It's round 18 of the 2020 Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship. We go racing once again here at Silverstone. Off the line well, and Jackson's through into the lead of the race. At the back end of the car is in, and Tom Ingram is out as well, I'm afraid, from the back of the field. So yellow flag. Oh, we got a big off for Rory Butcher. He's gone over, hit the barrier, and his barrel rolled over twice. Rear wheel's missing. It's landed, thankfully,
the right way up, but a safety car undoubtedly deployed now. That's a huge off on the far side of the circuit for Rory Butcher. Oh, goodness me. And thankfully, it landed the right way up, and thankfully, it wasn't collected, I don't think, by any of the cars as it was rolling across the track.
Before the crash, I was thinking, wow, this car's feeling really racy. I'm cutting for the pack. How far am I going to get? Could a podium be in sight? As the crash began to happen, it was a little bit of kind of surprise feeling, and then just before the impact, it was, holy, this is going to be big. And then after, there's just a lot of different feelings, because on one side you're happy that you're safe and you've come out of it unscathed, but there's a whole bunch of emotions to do with losing points, you know, seeing your rivals score points, seeing the car in an absolute ball of wreck, and not knowing if you're going to be out for the next event in 2 weeks' time.
Getting closer to him, there's going to be a real noise, a real cheer from the pit wall, because Ollie Jackson is a race winner in the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship.
Amazing scenes down here. Paul Jackson, his father, Emma Jackson, his wife, and David Bartram. Barty picked Paul Jackson up. They're still hugging each other. Wonderful, wonderful scenes down here.
Amazing, just, yeah, it's been my lifelong dream, and it was one of those where we've been at it for a few years now, and sometimes it didn't feel like it was ever going to happen, but it's finally it is come to me, and so the team have given me the cart to do the job with, and to finally get the monkey off my back with it.
For a first-time winner, and also the independent winner, Ollie Jackson! Gets a lovely cheer from the crowd, makes his way up for the first time, a wink and a fist bump with Ash, and so too with Tom Oliphant. And both of those trophies are yours, Ollie. Pick up the winner's trophy, enjoy the moment, and he holds it up to the crowd.
We struggled with the track surface, and we just couldn't quite get the tyres in the working window that we wanted to. We were trying used tyres, new tyres, you know, really old tyres on the rear, and we couldn't find the balance, you know. When we put the new tyre on, we actually went a little bit slower, which was strange. We had a little crease in the shell from the shunt of with Butcher and Neil. I was the first car coming into that once Butcher had kind of landed back in the middle of the track. So the main thing was that he was okay, but I slammed on the brakes and had a train of cars coming into the back of me. So a little bit unfortunate for me, but as we've seen with Rory's car, it could have been a lot worse. Yeah, race 3 was good. You know, we finished 6th in the end from 10th on the grid. We put in some good overtaking manoeuvres, and I think we maximised what we could out of that race. You know, it's a little bit disappointing because I want to be snatching them trophies like we spoke about earlier, but you know, to come from 10th on a circuit where we really struggled, I think that was a good result for the whole team, and I think we certainly deserved it.
It was as simple as the engine gave up, really, which was not great because that's the second time it's happened to me this year. And I think I was coming through Luffield when I dropped a cylinder, which is exactly the same symptoms as we had at Donington when it went in race 1. So as soon as I felt that, I just came straight in the pits, so to not unnecessarily damage anything further. And I knew at that point the race was over for me. Well, I would have loved to have continued really and just seen the year out, but unfortunately COVID-19 has had many different effects for many people, and one of the problems we had is we needed to have hospitality available for sponsors, and so it was time to step away so that we can better prepare for next year. And I've got lots of existing partners and potential future partners who are very keen, but we just need that hospitality. It is, after all, an important part of the championship, and it's not a decision we took lightly, but there's no point trying to bankrupt yourself to keep something going when it's not very sensible at all, is it? It is something we needed to think about very, very carefully, and it's where we find ourselves.
I'm Bobby Thompson from GKR with Trade Price Cars Racing. Jiggy leaving is a big loss to the team. For me personally, it makes my job harder. On a day like today, we've got 2 tests before we go into quali. We generally have 2 setups and 2 cars, and we can trial more things when it comes to quali and come up with something good. Well, now I've got to do twice the amount on my car before we go into quali. So personally, as me as a driver, that makes it hard, and also the whole team morale. We haven't got half the mechanics here that usually should be here, all helping. Although they are set on one car, we all muck in and help together. So yeah, it is difficult. It seems a lot more quieter in the engineering room as well. My season so far has been a strong start. I think we'd hoped for more podiums when we originally started, but soon into the year we realised that wasn't possible. Obviously Jack Sears is 100% what I'm going for, but to be a little bit higher up the actual Drivers' Championship standings, that would be mega for me as well.
Absolutely, yeah. We need to. We certainly need to pick up some muscle before the season's out. I set out a goal to win a race this season at least, and that motivation doesn't change. I'd love to do it here at my home track, but like you say, we need to just make sure we pick up that silverware and just keep getting some good results with the new car.
The car is 50% new. The whole rear end of the car had to be completely cut away because there was so much damage. So you wouldn't believe actually what these guys have done in 2 weeks. So apart from fabricating a completely new rear end, they've also had to purchase new suspension components and parts and wheels and uprights, and yeah, there's a lot of that car which is brand new and a lot of hard work has gone in. Ollie's been racing in BTCC for 10 years. So to finally get a win, and in such a fashion, I had just put the team in, that crash was rock bottom on that day, and then Ollie completely lifted them back up sky high, and yeah, he was quite emotional, so I was really happy for him.
I think it was P7 or something like that. I was over the moon, really over the moon. Then we managed to get another lap in with a drying track. It was greasy but drying on the wet tyre. We ended up not going any quicker, no one did, so we ended the session in P7. At the end of the session, 2 of the other drivers got penalised for a ride height problem, so that bumped me up to P5. So that's my best ever qualifying in the BTCC. So yeah, absolutely mega.
Had 2 consistent dry free practices. We weren't too bad there. We were kind of top 12, which was okay. We were still getting to grips with this new high Hyundai, especially a tricky circuit like Croft. And then the rain came, which I was very happy about, and we managed to put it P3 in qualifying. And then Tom Ingram got a technical infringement for a ride height failure, so we jumped up to P2 for a very short space of time, and then we had the same issue, and I think it was just a bit of a miscommunication, and something just not quite being put on right, or whatnot, and we still really haven't got to the bottom why we failed. We were all good all day until qualifying, so a little bit of a shame there.
So it's looking pretty cloudy out there. Everyone's saying it's not going to rain, but I think it might be, and I'm hoping it will. But as expectations and goals, I think just go top 8, top 10. Like I say, it's easy to set your sights and say it a bit too far away.
Is go. Good start made by Cook. Good getaway by Turkington. Knockhill tries to crowd the BMWs on the way down towards Clevo corner. Turkington will go second. Butcher to the inside of Oliver into the complex. Sun gets turned around.
Inside that is Rory Butcher. Turkington locks up, and Turkington's in the gravel. Colin Turkington in the gravel, and he's into the barriers. They're driving the. Oh, as Matt Neal dives down the inside, and there's contact with Josh Cook. Diving down the inside into Sunny in, and he's through. Matt Neal is a race winner once again. deployed there. Big accident. I think that's Bobby Thompson who's gone over. We've had a car roll going in towards Barcroft. The marshals have immediately attended to it.
In that part of race 3, we was looking at our phones, and obviously the phones aren't as quick as the circuit cameras, because circuit cameras are live, and then the actual looking at our phones on ITV4, they was about a lap down. So all we heard in the background was ooh. So someone's had a big one, and then someone came running up to me and said, "Oh, Bobby's had a big one." Like, I can't see it. I can't see it. So I waited for it to come around on the telly, saw it, and it was just like. Oh. The whole weekend just seemed to come crashing down at that point. It was awful, really. Bobby had done so well. The morale of the team was so high, and it was just such a shame to have the qualifying that we did, the points finishes that we did all weekend. To that, it was just like, well, I don't know. It was just heartbreaking because we'd done so well. We just wanted to come away with 3 points finishes and have a great write up on BTCC.net the next day. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be.
Race 1 was really positive for us. We started P10, and in kind of damp, drying conditions, everybody started on slicks and managed to kind of make quite good progress and get our way through to P4 on the road. Unfortunately, we got demoted one place to P5. I had a slight tagging with Ash Sutton, so that was the right decision, and they reversed the order. So unfortunately, in race 2, got a good run off the line, but Turkington was kind of pushed wide at turn 1, and he took me with him, and then it meant I was on the outside going through the chicane, and I just got a little tag from behind, and it spun me, put me all the way down to dead last. So we pushed and we got a fastest lap, which gave us 1 point, but it meant we were starting P19 for race 3. I just found it really difficult to make any progress. Managed to get up to P11 in the end from 19th, which was good. However, I had higher hopes.
Race 1, we started from the back, obviously, because we were going to be starting second, but the technical infringement meant we started from the back. We got up to 18 from 26, which I was a little bit disappointed in. I thought we could have at least got to the points and carried on my 15 in a row points races, but it was just one of them, and it was just a little bit disappointing there. And then we found a little something that worked with the car, and two top 10s in the last 2 races with 2 9th places. So 2 top 10s isn't too bad starting from the back on a Sunday morning. A little bit of sadness getting this close to the end of the season. Oh, it's been a hectic one, this one really, with everything being jam-packed so tight. In a sense, I'm looking forward to it being over because it's freezing cold and not the most ideal conditions to be driving a touring car. But then at the same time, sad that it's going to be over and another 6 months without racing. You know, we did what, 9-10 months before without racing. So it's going to be another long haul after only 2 or 3 months back. So it's strange, really. Every single year you want to be back, whether you can be or not is, you know, budget, commercial reasons, you know, bits and bobs like that. I 99% can say that I will be on the BTCC grid. Yeah, I don't really know. I haven't thought too much about next year. It's been mainly focused on getting this year finished off and doing the best job we can this year. And it's just a case of what fits best for me. And you know, it's, at the end of the day, I want to win this championship, and I've got to make sure that no matter where I am, I'm in the best position to do that. So that'll be a big point in my decision making going into next year. I'd like to see fans back at the track. We do lose a little bit of the atmosphere, and the days get a bit long, kind of sat around in the trucks. You know, so it's great to have them here. Like I say, the atmosphere's uplifted massively. You know, we love to see them all at the autograph signings and stuff like that. So for me, yeah, hopefully they're back.
You know what? It's quite hard to look past Ash. I think even on weekends where it looks like he's having a bad run, he somehow pulls out a result and gets the points. And saying that Turkington is very experienced in this position, you know, 4-time champion, and you've got Dan who seems to on a bit of a roll. Yeah, now my plan is to stay with Motorbase. You know, we started this project together with a new car. We had plans of trying to, you know, compete for the championship. I've had a little bit of misfortune, which has, you know, scuppered those plans slightly. So I think we've got some unfinished business. But my relationship with the team is really strong, and I feel like I'd like to continue with Motorbase. It's quite interesting. I always go into the winter, and every year, and there's always so much time to kind of ponder and think about what you could have done differently the year before. And I always have things that I want to carry into the next year and improve on, whether it's racecraft, whether it's qualifying, whether it's my consistency across the whole season. So I think come the end of Brands Hatch, I'll have a good picture of where I want to take my training and how I want to evolve into 2021. This year, for some reason, I feel a lot more relaxed. I'm gonna let the next 2 weekends just come to me, and just try and end the season on a high. And if we do our job, the points and the prizes will come.
So for the crash at Croft, I see Jake Hill overtake Senna Proctor the lap before going into the S's coming out of Tower. So I knew Proctor wasn't the best coming out of Tower, maybe had a bit of a traction issue. So I wanted to gain on that, and got alongside him, or a nose on him, and it was 50-50. I just probably got a bit too keen for the next position, as we was having such a great weekend. I just wanted to finish off on a high for the boys. And yes, I'm you know, coming across the circuit, and before I know it, I'm bouncing on the grass, trying to keep it in a straight line. Obviously front wheel drive, I'm using the power to keep the thing in a straight line. And I only really remember screenshots of what happened. I don't remember like a video playing throughout. So I remember me in a straight line, holding on for dear life. And last minute, it went sideways on me, and before I knew it, we were over. And it's one thing I do remember from the rolls itself is just the G pushing you back into your chair, the seat of the car. So yeah, and we're going over, and I remember being upside down and opening my eyes and actually being around about 5 foot in the air. And yeah, I thought I better keep those belts tight, because I thought I was finished. I was in the air for that long, I thought the roll would finish. When I opened my eyes, I'm 5 foot in the air. Besides what's happened this year with the crash, I'm going to be coming back next year stronger than ever and fitter than ever. Can't wait to be allowed to go back into the gym and work hard, and especially work on some sponsors that we've got currently, and bring some new ones in and take them racing again in 2021.
I think the top 10 showdown was a great thing for them to implement into this weekend. You know, we narrowly missed out. We qualified 11th and we were 10th up until about a minute to go. Then we got knocked out. But you can't just be happy with being P11 or P12. You know, it's really nice to be in that top 10. So yeah, I think it should stay, and hopefully they do. And yeah, it's definitely something that adds a bit of excitement to the grid.
Yeah, quali went almost according to plan. You know, we topped the times after Q1, So I was full of confidence going into the top 10 shootout. And our time, we improved on our lap time in the top 10 shootout. However, it was only good enough for P4. It's a good position, but I would have loved to have been on pole.
Get the action underway. Good start for Turkington, not such a good start for Hill. Tom Ingram is going to have a go at him. You've got side by side just behind as well. Dan Cammick and Ash Sutton, the top two of the championship. I think Ash got a slightly worse start, so it's going to be in the lead of the race. On the contact there, Tom Oliphant. Ollie Jackson is sent out onto the grass, taking the checkered flag. Colin Turkington is your race winner. Into the lead of the race, Ingram in second. Watch for Ash Sutton, he's got ahead of Hill. Hill's had another slightly iffy start. Jacked off on his own, went off. Oh, it's a big off actually, losing control of the car and smashing into the barriers. The Rory Butcher Ford Focus is still halfway alongside. There's the bit of contact on the way out of the corner. Cammish has got the left-hander. That's going to be his line. Colin Turkington, he goes through Coram now. It's nose to tail for second place though. Tom Ingram has been second all the way through the race. Can he fend off Ash Sutton? And Adam Morgan, terrific start. Sluggish start for Chris Smiley. So Ollie Jackson's going to get past him as well. And straight through into second place, and Josh Cook I think will get third. The winner at Silverstone has got his nose in front, he's on the outside line, and he'll have to be brave here. He'll have to rely on room given by Morgan, which is what happened. So he's into the lead of the race. Ollie Jackson into first place, and Rory Butcher just slices down the middle of the pair of them, holding the inside line, trying to look around the outside. Is Adam Morgan. There's contact, and Ingram have got to third, but Rory Butcher goes into the side of him. They both go on the grass. Colin Turkington's going to get past, but Ollie Jackson wins the race. Second place to Adam Morgan. And wow, contact there at the final corner.
Race 1 went really well today. We finished 9th. It was a long time ago now. We had a good car balance. We made the best of the opportunities that were in front of us, and we got on with the job in hand. Slowly chipped away at it, and yeah, that was a good race. Race 2, not so much. We made a few setup changes, and they didn't really go the way that we expected. We kind of lost performance instead of gained. A few things that usually would work and would usually help with the issues which we had. And then race 3, we had a really good car. We kind of went back to what we had in race 1 and kind of went back the opposite way. Kind of a bit of an unorthodox way to what we thought we should do. And it seemed to, I wouldn't say help the performance, but certainly improved it. Yeah, I'm a little bit mixed emotions this weekend because qualifying pace was very good. We extracted a really good lap from the car, and race 1 was really good, and then it's kind of gone a little bit downhill since then. I just think we seem to lose our way a little bit with the car in race 2 and 3.
We're pretty disappointed because I let go of 2 podium finishes in race 2 and race 3 as well. I made a mistake on the last lap of both races, and it cost us big. So yeah, we were disappointed. In race 3 at Snet, Tom was coming really quick from behind, and there was just a misjudgment in terms of how much space we had. We made contact, and it put us both offline, and I went off the grass and ended up hitting Tom, unfortunately. Yeah, I was pretty disappointed in that whole episode, and I gave him a call on the Monday morning just to kind of explain what had happened, and he took it really well.
The atmosphere is pretty strange, really. It's because we're coming to the end of a season. It's all been so chopped into the space of a few months. You know, we're not really used to it. So, you know, the first round was only 2.5 months ago. So it's a little bit strange, but you know, everyone's in good spirits and everyone's still got the same attitude. Everyone's still wanting to get the first win for this Hyundai, and that's what we're certainly going out to do this weekend. You know, underneath all the trees, you know, you get a real sensation of the speed. So, you know, the Indy circuit's okay, but if I had to pick, I'd rather be on the France GP circuit. Just outside the top 10, I think I'd have to have a pretty good weekend, and a couple of people would have to have a bad one. But you know, let's try and get the best results we can this weekend, and the points will sort themselves out.
I think going into the first race weekend, there's a lot of anticipation, there's a lot of unknowns. You know, are you going to be as quick as you expected you're going to be? And then by the time you arrive at the final round, you've kind of established exactly where you are in the championship. You know if you're going to be fighting for a title. You know, if I have a really strong weekend, there's potential to nip fourth, potentially third, but it's going to be really tough to do that. So I think what's tricky also is that the conditions are going to be very changeable. So we could have a dry free practice and we might have a wet qualifying. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard day tomorrow.
Yeah, well, it's a great opportunity that we're joining forces. It sort of wasn't expected. It was all started discussions about 4 weeks ago, then had a meeting at Snetterton, and we both felt that we could work really well together. Very keen on how we present ourselves, and it's all about how professional we are.
Commercially, Accelerate do a good job. We're very in tune, I think, as people and as different organisations in the way that we want to do things. You know, we were very keen to make sure that we turned out, you know, as a professional outfit, very much like Accelerate.
I think it's a little bit early to have been able to get to a point of having 4 drivers, because this year's been so condensed. The season's ending so late, so it's there's a very short turnaround, to be fair, this year. So usually you'd probably know your drivers by the middle of January, sort of Autosport show.
For the Hyundais, I mean, you know, I think they've come out of the box really well this year. They had some good results at Donington, I think, for, you know, first round of the season. And you know, they've done well throughout the year. And speaking to Justina and Anthony, I think there's a little bit of frustration that actually they probably could have done better this year. But the car's come strong here today. This is a longer term partnership for us, you know, so you know, we're not just in it for the next year, you know, or two. You know, we want to continue this, and you know, we felt, you know, coming together as one was definitely the best option.
To be fair, I think if we can go back to having hospitality where we can entertain clients, that's absolutely key. It's got to be what we need to do for people next year. They want the fun, they want the entertainment, and we haven't had that this year. So it'd be lovely to be able to have people there, and then they can join in all the fun with us. So really, it's working with Draper Tools again is just fantastic to be able to announce that in the last round at Brands, and hopefully gives other people a positive view on next year, and that actually if they're doing it, we should be too. So yeah, really delighted, really delighted.
The day started quite well here at Brands Indy. We managed to, you know, have a good free practice, and actually I left practice feeling quite confident in myself and the car. Qualifying was really chaotic. The track was a lot greasier than free practice, and at one stage I had a bit of a detour through the gravel trap at Paddock Hill, narrowly missing the barrier. And I thought that I actually had visions of my session ending right there, but we managed to get the car back to the pits, dust it down, put another set of tyres on and make a quick setup change. And I guess midway through that session it was looking really like breaking the top 10 was looking difficult. So yeah, it's a nice feeling actually, just you know, putting in that lap and making the team happy.
So yesterday's qualifying session didn't exactly go to plan. You know, it was completely my fault. I pushed too hard on lap 3. I put my banker lap in and then locked up and caused a red flag, and so they took my fastest time away from me. So we had to start from last on the grid, which was a little bit of a shame, but you know, you learn from your mistakes, and you know, it didn't affect me really. You know, the main thing for me now is just to keep pressing forward. Yeah, you know, it's the last round. It's all about going out there, having fun, signing off on a high. That's very important going into the winter, but also just to you know, for me, I've got nothing to lose. I'm not fighting for the championship.
Championship. The green flag was waved from the back of the grid. The red lights come on now, and we are underway here at Brands Hatch. The cars take themselves from the grid. A great start from the rural driver, Ash Sutton, who goes past Rory Butcher down towards Paddock Hill Bend. He's going to try and get himself past Tom Ingram in towards the first corner as well, but not quite good enough. He goes into second place as round the outside comes Dan Camish from 4th to 3rd place. From the grid, he's going to go up into 3rd place as they head now in towards Paddock Hill Bend and Druids for the first time. And Dan Camish lunges for the inside of Ash Sutton. He needs to be careful. And Sam Osborne, by the body language there of Glengetty, it doesn't look too good, does it, Al? And Ash Sutton goes through for 2nd place, so we've changed around the two cars in 2nd and 3rd, but it's Dan Camish who wins round 25. And away we go. A good start from Ash Sutton. He got the jump there off ahead of Dan Camish, so they run side by side down towards Paddock Hill Bend. Tom Ingram goes round the outside, and there's contact between Jake Hill and the two Ford Focuses of Ollie Jackson and Rory Butcher. They go through the gravel trap. Tom Ingram up the road was another man off onto the gravel trap there at Paddock Hill Bend. He would have had contact possibly with Dan Camish. Ash Sutton has now gone through on Tom Chilton, so we've had a change for the lead because one car is Broadway across the track, and Colin Turkington just avoids that. It's going to be Ash Sutton who comes through here at Brands Hatch in round 26. Good start from Aidan Moffat off the front of the grid, so he gets himself nicely away at Paddock Hill Bend as Aidan Moffat leads the pack up towards Druids for the first time. It's 2nd place then for the Ford Focus of Rory Butcher, which has come through from the 2nd row of the grid.
Camish tries to make a move on the inside of Sutton. Is he going to go through? It's crucial for him to stay in the title hunt. Yes, he gets up the inside. Ingram again makes an attack, and this time has he gone through? He has. That's bad news for Turkington. 4 points given away.
It's the final race, and the race victory is going to go the way of Rory Butcher, who comes through to take the checker flag here at Brands Hatch on the Indy circuit. And Ash Sutton is going to be the provisional 2020 Quick Fit British Touring Car Champion.
And Ash Sutton stands on the top step of the podium and holds up the trophy. He's champion for 2020. A double champion stands on the top step of the podium, shaking his head in disbelief. And that is the start of a champion on the top step of the podium. Ash Sutton holds the trophy for the 2nd time.
Yeah, we had a really good race too. We were battling really well, and we fought all our way from 19th to 8th, so that was a great result. We banged some more points on the board. You know, overall we've had a good season. You know, the new car, yes, it hasn't been the wins and the, you know, multiple podiums and, you know, spraying of the champagne as much as we wanted, but you know, I think overall we developed the car. You know, we've showed good pace at times, and I think we can hold our heads high after this season. There'll always be kind of deals on the table. You know, I've got a few deals on the table now. Whether I'm going to take them or not, I don't know. It's just a case of now we kind of play the waiting game, and if we get an offer from a top team, then you know that's proven in the BTCC and that has championships under the belt, then you know that'll be also very hard to turn down, because you know I'm not in the BTCC ultimately to make up the numbers. I need to be in a position where I think I can win championships.
all of the points added up over all 3 rounds, and the first of those awards is...
You know, the best ending to a season. It was managed to get the lead on the first lap and build a nice comfortable gap. It's always difficult when that happens because you don't really have any pressure from behind and you have no one in front of you. So I just decided to kind of go at a steady pace and keep myself in a rhythm. I think there's definitely some relief. I'm going to drive home to Scotland tonight happy. You know, if we had another couple of rounds, I would have definitely been keen to have a longer championship and see if we could have caught back up with the guys at the front of the series. It's been a very compressed season, so yeah, now it's nice to have a little breath. You know, we've had a fantastic weekend as a team, and I think just like I am, they're going to go into the winter feeling very happy and feeling very buzzing about next season, and it's going to give us extra motivation to push on.